So something happened over the weekend. Something you just need to see. Something that in the history of this channel, even though it's existed for about 4 days, that we need to talk about. You should have known I was going to talk about. There's no way I wasn't going to talk about Ronaldo this weekend. I did go outside and touch grass. We haven't posted a video here in like 3 days, which is probably going to be the longest streak until the end of time. I had 2 birthdays this weekend, and I got drunk. And I did a lot of stupid stuff. I touched grass. It was alarming. Now I'm back in a grass-colored room, and I plan on never leaving again. And even though I did a bunch of stupid stuff, I didn't do anything as stupid as Cristiano Ronaldo this weekend, because Cristiano Ronaldo faced something that he always faces in Saudi Arabia, something that any second-grade kid could tell you was preventable, because Cristiano Ronaldo had Messi's name chanted at him. May I remind you, he had Messi's name chanted at him in the Saudi League. Cristiano Ronaldo has played in a lot, if not all, of the biggest leagues in the entire world. He's played at like 28 World Cups, 47 Euros, in 64 different top flight seasons. He's won roughly 93 trophies and played in all of the biggest matches except for like a World Cup final that you could possibly imagine. And yet somehow a crowd of like 300 people in the Saudi Pro League. Now, I respect Saudi fans, right? I hate dissing fans. I come from a small market in the United States myself, and the teams I root for, like especially the Tampa Bay Rays, typically are known for having very small fan bases. So I don't mean to diss like the fans, but the point holds that this guy's played in front of like billion-seater stadiums and now is getting rattled by like 400 fans in Saudi Arabia. It doesn't make any sense, but they're just chanting Messi's name. That's it. They've been doing it for months. Some crazy happened though this time, but every time they chant it, not every time, but he has a reaction. There seems to be a new latest greatest reaction. They've apparently been building up to one ridiculous one, right? He started with like the I don't hear you, or I'm Ronaldo and I'm here, or all these other different, if you like him, excellent piss taking sort of responses. If you don't like him, then he looks like a man child trying to react to it. I've never met him. I don't know what's going through his mind at all, but based off all of the publicly available information he wants out there or not, I'm inclined to believe it's actually bothering him, because we're talking about somebody that like has his sister, post out messages that he can't post on his main channel, but it's like very obviously just a rant coming from Cristiano Ronaldo anytime something happens with like Messi winning another Ballon d'Or. He seems like a really petty guy. That has no effect on the fact that he's like inarguably a top 5 player of all time, probably a top 3 player of all time, right? Being a petty dude is separate from that, but it was all leading up to this weekend. Right, because this weekend he lost it. I don't know what Cristiano Ronaldo was doing, but he lost his mind. So he's getting Messi chanted at him after a match. I don't even know what match this is. I don't care. I don't care. But it's after a match. They won, I would assume, based off the mood, but the people are chanting Messi, and then this happens. There's no words that can properly describe where that came from, what it feels like to watch that for the first time. It looks like maybe even an AI thing, but it's very clearly not AI generated when you factor in all the reaction to it. Like that this actually happened. Cristiano Ronaldo just went full Drake in the middle of a post-match celebration, just towards a group of fans. Might I remind you, in Saudi Arabia, dude, like even Skittles commercials, like Taste the Rainbow, that would be illegal in Saudi Arabia. If I went to Saudi Arabia, we're making the next Hidden Grounds, it's in Saudi Arabia, whatever. We're there, and I walk into the middle of a public square in Riyadh. I get myself some ice cream because it's 8,000 degrees, which respect. I grew up in Florida. It's hot there too, but they have got that dry heat. It's like an oven. I'm in the oven. I want some ice cream. I get it. It starts melting. Whatever. I get sad, right? I'm standing in the middle of this public forum. Let's say it's like a square. I've never been to Riyadh. And I just do that specific motion. I just like look at a group of people that are just chilling. Maybe they're eating outside, right? And I just do that. Right? I'm playing with balloon animals in the public square. Just yeehaw. Come on, cowboy. Right? Not fully clothed, mind you. If I do that, I have to imagine that somebody is going to arrest me. Like, I don't know. Right? I'm not an expert in Saudi Arabian legal matters. Based off what I have been told, I feel like I would at least be making a ton of people very uncomfortable. Now, obviously, this situation is different, right? Because this crowd is specifically interacting with him. But yeah, just breaking this sort of move out in any public setting, just to give you an idea of how weird that would be, is a problem, particularly in a country where this type of freedom of sexual expression is not necessarily the most beloved public thing. But to be perfectly honest, as somebody that lives in New York, to use that same example, if I walked into the middle of Times Square and just busted that move out, I hit him with like a little, whoa, what's he gonna do? And then, dude, whoa, you would get the same reaction. You'd probably get a lot of public chastisement, and then you'd be like, dude, what are you doing? Right? And part of that reaction, whether it's in Saudi Arabia or in the United States, would probably be due to the form. And I'm not the only one that picked up on this. If you scroll the comments on the Reddit, someone needs to teach him how to properly rub one out. His form is all wrong. This is the first thing, and I don't know why. This is the first thing I thought of when I saw this video. This is weird, right? And look, who am I? Who am I? A man in a chair in a green room to tell somebody else what to do in their free time or in public, apparently. But this is not natural. I don't know what is this? Well, it looks like he's dealing cards at a blackjack table. I mean, there's no possible way. I mean, unless you're working with a literal pool noodle, there's no brother, with as tight as your pants are, all right, with as tight as everything you've ever worn is. I know, everybody else, all 640 billion Instagram followers you have. It's actually like 640 million. I'm not even being that hyperbolic there. We all know that ain't in there. Unless you've got the grower of all time. Unless it's literally like one of those pills you used to drop in the sink and then it turned into like a freaking dinosaur, right? Unless you've got one of those little magic pills. I don't know. Maybe this is what the pills at the gas station do. But seriously, like if that, I mean, you need enough blood to run the rest of your body. Like that can't be healthy, right? Maybe I'm just outing myself, but this is insane. Not to mention, this is not an angle that would be comfortable. I mean, that form is so weird that I had to watch it like 3 times to be like, is he doing what I think he's doing? Is he doing what I think he's? I mean, the universal signal for this, right? And I know this because sometimes when I say I'm American, people do this to me on the tube in London, but it's that. That's the universal, like, signal for the. It's not like, hi, huh. I mean, that's like I'm about to have a sword duel in Pirates of the Caribbean. Like, on guard, haven't thee come to me, you fiend. That is closer to the motion that he's doing than any normal human being, even making this joke in public, would be doing. The point is, if I did this in any other setting, I would get chastised for it, or maybe potentially arrested, or at least detained for just being a fucking weirdo. But, if you do this on the field, then I guess you only get suspended for 2 games, because according to this source and, a bunch of articles that also happen to be in English, but I figured it looked cooler to be Google translating something that was in Arabic, that he's been suspended for 2 matches for what was translated to unsportsmanlike behavior. That's not unsportsmanlike. It's just weird. Like, you're just being suspended for a couple of matches for just like, what are you doing? Like, do I care that much? No. I gotta be clear. Do I actually care? No. Is my life affected by the fact that Cristiano Ronaldo did this? No. Do I think it's funny that an 8-year-old in London is going to go to school after having seen this on TikTok and in a U9s match score a goal and then do this having no idea what it means, and then a bunch of moms and coaches are going to be horrified? Yeah, that's hilarious. I can't wait for that to happen. It's going to be really funny. That kid's going to have a brutal time living that down. But, you imitating a celebration from one of your idols, and it happens to be this. I would also just like to point out that even his teammates were surprised. If you watch this dude, he is making the face of, oh shit. That is the face of a man that is trying to figure out if he just watched something that was really funny and cool, or something that's going to get his homie in a lot of trouble. And sometimes you don't know at the moment. But the trouble is a 2-game suspension, and the homie is Cristiano Ronaldo. So you kind of just have to pat him on the back and be like, good work, Cristiano. It was a bold choice. This was a bold choice, a bold public statement. Your move, Lionel Messi. Can't wait until he twerks after an Inter Miami goal in response, which then would leave Neymar and his sister. But I feel like that's a topic for a different video or maybe just a different website. They're all good players, though. They're all good players, right? They're all good players.